Pat here from Rain Country, and I've been working on trying to clean my shop up. Embarrassed to say it's been a long time since it's been cleaned real good. And so I come across unfinished projects and things I just need to finish putting together. And so I've been working on some old kitchen cabinets. So we took out, I started building my wife building us some cabinets. And I'm ashamed to say it was a while ago I started that project and it's still not finished. And so I got these old cabinets from the house, the old cabinets from the house in the shop. And they're built out in the 1960s, and I'm built out of wood instead of particle board like a lot of them are today. And instead of throwing them in a dump, I don't see any reason why we can't refinish them and reuse them in our rec room or in the shop here. I was going to just use them in the shop, but you know, if they turn out kind of nice, I'm kind of feeling like I should put them in the utility room there, in the family room, the big room that we have that Heidi used to do her martial arts and dance in. And that'll give her a little bit more storage and you know, make best use of these cabinets that we got. They're still in good shape. There's still a little bit of work I need to do on them, so just gonna go ahead and get those things cleaned up. So I'll kind of show you what they look like. Yeah, this is all birch, and I've been sanding this stuff down. Gonna refinish this. If it turns out good, then you know, it's house worthy, we'll put them in the house. If it's not house worthy, definitely shop worthy. Even with the way they are, they're shop worthy. But I'm trying to clean things up around here and make them look nice. Just different sectionals here. This obviously is a section for drawers, and this one here is a drawer and a cabinet. These are some doors I've already, some drawers, excuse me, that I've already sanded down. There's little nicks and different things from years of use, and, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything. I'll put a little darker stain on it, and a lot of that kind of stuff will be subdued. I have some more cabinets. Like I say, I've just been using these just to store some of my oils and different things in. Like I said, they're still in really good shape. The cabinets themselves, I mean, they look terrible. I started sanding these down just a little bit, just to maybe to throw some paint on here. That's initially what I started to do, but I think I'm going to go ahead and finish stripping these down and seeing what we can come up with. Anyway, I'll get to work on these cabinets. This was the face for the old chopping block here, and this will make a pretty nice little pull-out table for, I don't know, whatever. At any rate, whatever it's going to be used for in the future, if I don't put it back in, it's just going to leave a hole in the cabinet. Whether I use this in the shop or you put it back in the house in the rec room. I was going to save that piece right there, but you know what? I got a little piece of birch here I'll just go ahead and replace this thing. It's got big ugly nail holes in it, whatnot, so I'll just make a new one. So I'll just take dimensions off this guy. It's going to be, well, I'm pretty sure it used to be 16.5. Right, 16.5 by 1.5, or maybe 1 5/8. So I'm going to cut it 1 5/8 by 16.5. To flip this over, this side here looks a lot nicer than that side. This thing's been cut up over the years, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and reverse this. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this off here, and then put this rabbet joint. I'll reverse this rabbet joint here, and that way this will turn into the top. And it really doesn't matter if it's a, what is that, a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch shorter. I don't think that's going to matter any. So I'll go ahead and set this up on the table saw and cut another rabbet in this. So I don't need a tape measure for that. I've just got to find my depth of cut here by running the board over top of the blade just to where it touches the blade. Lock the blade down. Recheck it to make sure I didn't move my blade. It looks good. And let's see, now I have to run this in to find out how deep I need to go and then lock down the fence. So I have my depth of my blade proper. And I want to come in a 1/2 inch correct, a 1/2 inch past where I'm at now, because that's the current setting or the current cut. So I have to come in, let's see, 1 2 3 4 22 7/8. Alright, and so the depth is cut, the depth is right, the length in here is correct to cut a 1/2 inch off of this. Yeah, so okay. Double check. That looks good. be the bottom is now the top, and what used to be the top is now the bottom. Well, it fits right in there nicely. And make sure it's centered. We got 1 inch to the edge of the cutting board on each side. And we'll put a little piece of wood in here to buffer against marring with a space here. Sanded down, ready to apply stain. Got all the doors and the drawers sanded down for the cabinets. As you can see, there's little chip marks and stuff like that, but like I say, these are used. So I think back in the 60s is when the house was built, and these cabinets were in there back then. So I think when these get refinished, I think we can give new life to these cabinets. Well, this cabinet right here is by far the one that's in worse shape. It broke apart when we went to take it apart upon disassembly, and it's just been sitting here in the shop for, well, quite a few years now. And so this is delaminated, but it's not so bad that I don't think that we can't repair it and put it back into service. This part in here you're not going to see at all. It's going to be buttoned up against another cabinet. As a lot of you probably already know, that cabinets come in specific widths, cabinet sections, and most generally when you go to buy a cabinet, you buy several sections of cabinet that fit together that make up whatever you need in your kitchen. So anyway, I'll start working on this. I think a little bit of glue and re-nailing and refastening, I can get this all back together again. By the time that dries, that should be good and strong. And you know, if I was building this for anybody else, I guess I'd just replace that panel. I mean, obviously it's deteriorated or busted apart. You know, if I was to be refinishing something like that. But anyway, it's just going to be for personal use. And when I go to finish this out, you're never going to know that that exists, other than it's going to be on YouTube. Anyhow, you know, if you're on a budget or you're looking to save the cash, I don't think you know, that's going to be a big deal. I think that corner right there is going to be against the wall. I'm going to have another cabinet up against this one, so there's going to be support on this side with the other cabinet that's in good shape. And we're going to have a nice cabinet or a countertop on top of that. So that's not going to be a big deal. So I'll leave those little clamps on there, the quick clamps and the ponies, the bar clamps, and let's let that dry overnight, and we'll resume working on this cabinet tomorrow. Well, we got our cabinet, or the drawers, and most of the cabinets are all sanded down. Now I'm putting a stain on the face of them and just putting a stain on the outside and inside of the drawers, and getting them all cleaned up here. for the cabinet doors. Special walnut stain that I have for these, and I just sand these down real good. These aren't as dark as they were originally. I think they look a little bit better, a little lighter. So Heidi and I looked at some laminates yesterday. We're going to go ahead and select one and put on top of these cabinets when they're all built in place. So yeah, anyway, these are the kitchen, or the old kitchen cabinets. These are all the door fronts. And I've used Minwax polyurethane semi-gloss satin. Well, actually I mixed a little bit of semi-gloss and satin together, mixed it up, and that's what I got. I had a full satin, and then I had a semi-gloss, and so I had a semi-gloss partial can and a satin full can. So I mixed them together, and they're just a little bit more shiny. I'm not really crazy about shiny cabinets, so I like the satin finish. Anyway, that's what I've been doing lately.